York winter wellness event, essential oils Q&A with JustinaRae. If you have questions while you're watching the live stream, please drop them in the chat. We'll be able to see them and answer them. And if you're here in the room, then you will be able to ask your question out loud. So, Justina, I'll pass it to you.
Hello. I am back connected. Thank you very much. And I'm very honored to be here with you guys and excited to share some simple information about essential oils and maybe answer any questions you might have. And so to start out, we're going to talk about what are essential oils. And I'm curious what you guys, what information you have about essential oils, or what you know of, or what you'd like to share, ask. So if you're interested, I'll just give a moment on the floor for any beginning questions or whatever. My plan is to talk for 5 to 10 minutes of all about essential oils and fill all your ears, but I also love to hear maybe if you use essential oils or how you use them or what you know about essential oils. If anybody's interested in sharing, I'll love to hear from you. And if not, I will happily share what I know about essential oils. I am very passionate about these. I'll give a brief introduction in my explanation of what essential oils are. I was introduced to essential oils about 13 years ago, and it actually didn't begin with me. It was my middle son that was very activated in learning about them and getting them, and he wasn't yet 18, so I had to help him. For myself, I wasn't instantly as excited, but he got a kit. I tried some of the stuff for upset tummies, and my life was never the same. I didn't realize how much my body was in crisis until I actually found something that made me feel better, and it works very quickly. And so I actually packed around a bottle in my pocket for a couple of years, and I actually don't even have to use those oils anymore. They worked for me, and it helped teach me about my body. And so that is my story. I absolutely love them. I have spent 13 years actively learning about them, researching, and you can never learn enough, and there's so much more to learn. We're just barely going to scratch the surface of what we know so far scientifically. And so I'm going to jump right in and just kind of share what I wrote to share with you, which is, what are essential oils? So essential oils are actually a liquid that turns into a vapor very quickly. So when you pour one drop on your hand, it actually will turn into a vapor, which turns into millions and millions and millions of micro pieces, breaks down as small as cells. And that is a great introduction to how the essential oils work. Whatever created humans created us with complex cells. So our body is filled with complex cells, or made of the complex cells. And the plants are made of simple cells. And so what that can look like in your mind is a very complex snowflake and a very, very, very simple snowflake. A snowflake made of, maybe 4 strands, and the complex snowflake made of millions of pieces. And so the reason that idea in your head, being able to picture that, matters is because the essential oils can work for many different things in many different ways. And that is because the very simple cell fits into many of the complex cells like a puzzle piece. And so that is both what they are and how they work. And where do they come from? Essential oils come from all the different parts of plants and herbs and trees and citrus and flowers, each one grown in different regions of our world and given different caretakers, and also needing different environments and different ways to harvest and to receive the essential oils. What I mean by that is some of the essential oils we cold press. We just use cold water and pressing the rinds of the citrus, for example. And some of them, like jasmine, we can only harvest them between like 2 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning. They're very, very, very delicate flower, very precious. And to receive the essential oil, that is the only time that they allow. So the cool thing about that is to learn the science and learn and understand when they're at their peak, when they want to give the most of the medicine that they provide for us. So as you see, all of them are done a little differently. Some of them we use the bark, some we use the resin, some we use the roots. And learning about each plant and understanding them is very valuable to receiving the medicine at its purest and best way. So how is everybody doing so far? If you have any questions or you want to speak up, I'll just keep giving little micro breaks and then I'll jump into the next thing. And you're ready.
Super interesting.
Yeah, they truly are. It honestly is. One thing that I like to learn from for myself is I understand that there's can be some confusion in one practice or one learning or one author or one religion or one continent. But something that I've found for myself is that I like to learn about what did all of these people share? What did they all have in common? And one of the things that all of us have in common is whatever books you read and whatever you learn in your culture, you'll learn that the medicine is in the plants, no matter where you go. And that is very fascinating as well. A little commercial tidbit: essential oils were stolen out of tombs and graves far, far before anything else was ever cared to be stolen. And the other things in there would be gold and seeds, things like that. Those things stayed for hundreds of years after the essential oils. So
Okay, I
those
have
are
a question.
something. Yeah, go ahead.
So a lot of my exposure, for example, to essential oils is when you put them in a diffuser. And sometimes, I know other people too that like have a real strong sinus reaction when they smell certain essential oils. What does that mean? Does that necessarily mean that we're allergic to it, or does it mean something else?
It means something else. Well, it also could be what kind you're using. That is going to be something we're going to talk about. That's very, very valuable. Um, for example, you can buy essential oils at Walmart right now. A frankincense is like $5. So what can you imagine is in that bottle? And I think that is part of where people get really confused because they can find cheaper oils or whatever words you want to use. And really, that is a downfall because there is proven to be, even in some cases, no real essential oil in those bottles at all. And so I bring that up because if you're diffusing something like that, everybody's allergic to that, right? So, but if you find the purest essential oils, there's no allergies to them.
Okay.
Now, some people will hem and haw about this and that. Some people break out in a rash. I can explain the reasons why that would happen. And like you're saying, the goal of our humanness is to get rid of mucus. Mucus is the cause of every single issue the body can go through. Many of our foods are mucus forming, mucus causing, or mucus themselves. So I could go into obviously a whole nother class here. This is where the eating and nutrition stuff comes in. But also the importance is when somebody has a reaction, that's what's supposed to happen essentially, is that the oils are triggering the mucus to get out of you.
Okay. Thank you. Just curious.
Yeah. And so if you have a reaction that feels like a reaction, oftentimes that's pointing to needing to cleanse in the gut or a severe issue in the body that needs to be looked at. Those are the reasons that somebody might react to the oils. They're too strong, or the liver's already overtaxed with other stuff. So we have to figure out how to first help the liver be able to process what it has going on. Does that make sense?
Completely.
Okay.
So for you, when you use them in your daily life, are you using them in an diffuser, or are you putting them on your body, rubbing them in? Are you ingesting them? How are you
I use
using
them all of those ways all day, every day. My favorite when time to diffuse is at nighttime. I actually have a diffuser a foot from my head, and I diffuse my oils at nighttime. So that gives me an 8-hour session of microdosing.
Wow.
I drink them as soon as I wake up in the morning. In my tea, I use them in my toothpaste as soon as I even get up to use the bathroom. And then I apply them topically throughout the day and use drops in my mouth. I'll love to share this little paper I have, and it's going to show us 3 cool things about them, 3 ways to use them, and I added some different stuff. So if you're ready, I'll give you another chunk of a class about essential oils. The 3 cool things about them is they're very safe, they're very effective, and they're very affordable. And so we'll start with number 1, safe. They're natural and safe. They have benefits without side effects. They're extracts from plants with amazing wellness benefits. And the certified pure tested grade are pure and potent. Safe is equal to purity. As direct to the source as you can get. And like I was explaining, the timing and being able to distill them properly is all part of safety. So just make sure the ones you use, you know where they came from, and they know how that they were processed and brought to you. So the effectiveness, they're an effective way to address root causes of health problems. And essential oils actually permeate the cell membrane. So they actually go in and work with your cells. So this also isn't a thing that does it work for you or does it not work for you. If you have cells, it's working for you. There is reasons that they might not feel as effective for you. One of them is that you need to use the right oil for you right now. So what that could mean is if you have stomach issues, maybe the digest blend is a little strong for you, or maybe you can't use peppermint because it makes you feel like it's cleansing you out too much, like you were explaining, runny nose or coughing. So maybe it would be best to start with lemon, for an example. So maybe it's not the right perfect oil for you right now. That's one reason they might not be as effective as they can. And another is they like to be used a little bit often. So 1 drop every 20 minutes would be way better than trying to take 4 drops for the hour. Spreading them out a little often is the best way to address a problem, and a little more often if you have a problem to be addressing. The third one is affordable. There is over $7 trillion a year spent globally on healthcare. Essential oils are pennies per dose, and you save a lot of money with natural solutions. All of the products that you can make using essential oils will be very concentrated. So you would just use a teaspoon versus a cup, for example, or I paying attention today to the face washes, I use the tiniest little smidgen. I've had this same bottle for like 2 years. And I just use a little smidgen, it washes my whole face. And I was kind of smiling today about how I could express how concentrated these things are that you can make with the oils and how little you need to use. So they are affordable. They may appear to be less affordable, but when we talk about the details of how to use them, there's over 200 uses in one big bottle. So that's a lot of uses. This is another good pause if anybody has any questions about that. Next, we're going to talk about the 3 ways that we can use the essential oils. And those 3 ways are aromatic. Aromatic would be a diffuser, or the way that I suggest that you use them every time is to just put 1 drop in the palm of your hand, rub your palms together, and then smell. This is actually a very effective way to get the essential oils because, like I explained, they're a volatile substance. That means they're a liquid that turns into a vapor quickly. So you put that drop in your hand and the rubbing kind of activates it all, and then you cup your hand over your nose, and all of those little particles go up into your oral factor. That means your nose, up into your sinuses, but it goes into all the major glands of your brain, which is your computer system, your pineal gland, your thymus, all of the functions of your brain. And many of them pass the blood-brain barrier. And all that means to us is that your body accepts it quickly and allows it to go in every single cell of your body very quickly. So when they're very pure, just smelling it like that, they will be in all cells of your entire body in 2 to 20 minutes. Every single cell. That's how many particles it breaks up into, and that's how quick and effective they are. And like I mentioned, I diffuse at night, especially every night when I'm getting ready for bed. I turn on my diffuser, I put the sleeping oils in and I also put oils to help whatever thing I'm working on for myself or whatever my intuition tells me that I need right now. And so the other way is topical, and that means to put it right on where the ailment might be. I have a sleep stick, I rub it on my neck, and that helps my neck relax while I sleep. We have like a deep blue stick. You can rub it where you have sore muscles. If you have a cut or a bruise or an issue, or you want to get rid of wrinkles or whatever you need, you can put the essential oils directly on the source. What's really important to remember is to dilute. Dilute means add a carrier oil. What this does is when you add 1 drop to, say, 1 tablespoon of carrier oil, those millions and millions of particles are now able to spread out equally amongst the oil, and then you can cover a bigger surface area with the oils. The dilution will always also help them take a little longer to penetrate and to go through the body system, because 2 minutes is quick. So to dilute means that they'll last longer at a little bit slower pace, which is actually better for you and your body. So dilution is very important. The topical gives you localized benefits quickly. And so I also would rub Digest-N right on my belly if I got a bellyache from something I ate or needed help to digest. So that would be another example of topical. And then internal is the 3rd way that we use them. And you only want to use trusted and tested sources of essential oils. You cannot use other essential oils internally at all. And the ones that you can use will have actual supplement facts that tell you about how they work for you internally. So that's very important. And the way you can take them internally is in your drink. I drink them in my tea every morning. You don't want to get them super hot. Hot actually makes them less effective. You can take them in a veggie cap. There's empty little capsules and you can put oils in there. Or you can drop them, some of them right under your tongue. It's very effective. There's another window if you have any questions.
I don't know if this is the appropriate time to ask this question, but do they have like an expiration date, or are they, if if you purchased them, they're good, they're good
Great.
for however many
Anytime's
years?
a good time for a question. So with pure oils, there's actually no expiration date. They actually will last many lifetimes. You just want to keep them in a cool, dark place. They do not like sunshine and they do not like heat. So the ways that they could be less effective is if you left them out in the sun or let them be right next to your stove or something where they were getting too hot. Or if you left the lid off, they do evaporate, and the citrus will actually evaporate through the lid over time. So there is actually no expiration on them. The FDA does require these companies to have expiration dates on them, and they just make them up. So
Okay.
they
Okay.
they tell them like that one you could only have on the shelf for a year, this one 2 years, that one 3 years. There's no real science behind any of that because they don't expire. I actually even sometimes shop for really old ones because honestly, some of the really old ones, some of them, the longer they sit, the actual better they get.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's incredible.
very much. So the last things that I want to share about these oils are very important to the oils that you use. And also it shares where you can get some of these oils. So for me, it is the 3 ways that we create a circle of caretaking the earth. So for the specific oils that I use, I want to share about this because I think it's very important to learn. We have a partnership with we have a partnership with Healing Hands, which is an anthropologist. Like, they are literally the first on the ground on any crisis that we've had in America or in the world, which is very awesome. Any in the last 10 years you can name, doTERRA was actually the first on the ground with help for the people, which is super cool. And that largely happens because we are able to do that as wellness advocates, and there's 17 million of us now. So as soon as something happens, even in our town or community, we could actually get help on the ground very quickly. And they actually have single-handedly eliminated third world countries from our world. I think that's a very important thing to speak upon, because we actually have other partnerships such as co-impact sourcing. And co-impact sourcing means that we are involved at the source. We go to where creator put this plant, and we work with the caretakers that were put on the land with that plant. And so we actually take care of our harvesters, we take care of the earth that they are growing on, and the people that are there. It's actually a very awesome system. We make a positive impact all the way around the circle. We make a positive social impact with all of the people involved in helping us receive essential oils. So it's a very beautiful full circle. We also partnership with Source to You, and Source to You is kind of making sure it's a mutual benefit from the people that provide the oils in a long-term proactive way. We actually go right to the source for every oil, and we can trace every bottle. Every bottle is labeled with a number, so you can put it in and it will tell you exactly where it was grown, who harvested it, the date, the time, and the 54 tests that we go through. It goes through, it will tell you the results of every test for you. We do a lot of third-party testing. And that stuff is just really important. We're not making farms in the middle of Kansas and hiring people to come and grow our products. We're actually going where creator put them. There's a reason why lavender loves the Swiss Alps. There's a reason why these plants grow where they grow and receive. And in that way, they never need outside sources. We have testing for any kind of pesticides, testing for any kind of heavy metals in the soil. Every single tiny thing is tested throughout this. And that is really important because we also test to make sure all the medicinal value is existent in each bottle. So it's very consistent. It's used in many hospital settings because of their consistent, the way they show up consistently throughout all the years. So those were the three ways, the three partners that we use to make sure that every bottle and every drop is what you learn to expect it to be. The other things I wanted to share are the 3 high impact actions. Very simply, what I mean is this is science meets nature. That's what it is. It's learning exactly what temperature it likes to be distilled, what time of the day it likes to be harvested, how it likes to be treated from its conception to this bottle in your hand, and also making sure everybody that has a part in sharing that is taken care of properly, including me. This is a person-to-person kind of situation so that we can learn from each other, and I absolutely love that. Also, these just pointing out that whoever made us, whatever created us, made us in perfect conjunction with the plants and created the plants and the flowers and the trees perfectly for us. So that concludes everything about the essential oils. I do want to share also that just our health and our nutrition really affect everything in our life, and I really love to share about that as well. But thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I hope maybe you guys have some questions real quick.
Yeah, I think my question, this was really helpful and informative because I don't know a lot about essential oils. I think the one thing that was on my mind coming into this was just for my own self, the thing that I struggle with the most is like this end of the day where I'm just kind of like, my energy just feels like it's going down, and my mind says like, I need coffee, I need caffeine, I need, this, that, and the other thing. But I'm like, that doesn't, we're in this wellness business. Like, we're trying to help people, like, in recovery and on their journeys. And I'm like, there has to be a better way. There has to be something else. So I was just curious if there was anything, any essential oils that you would maybe recommend for kind of that like energizing pick me up, or like that brain fog or something like that.
Absolutely. We do have some mints are really amazing for energy to keep you along. It gives you a good half an hour of nice energy. Just a peppermint, or we have a blend called Supermint that's like 4 of the mints put together just beautifully. It's magical. Also, citruses work for that. They're very uplifting and help give some positive energy. It's definitely worth looking into because it's very simple to give you that boost that you're asking for. We do have supplements available for, they're called Mito2 Max, and they heal the mitochondria in your cells, which is actually the energy center of each cell. And we damage them utilizing caffeine and things like that. And so this actually has no stimulants in it. It just actually goes and repairs the damage done from other stimulants. And some of us have had damage for most of our lives in our energy cells. So once those start repairing, you actually feel more energetic and better because of that. But to start off, just a simple lemon, orange, peppermint, Supermint, those are very simple ways to give you what you're looking for.
So, thank you.
Anybody else? I'm so glad that you guys are here, and I've had reports people are watching the replays, so that's really cool. So thank you if you're watching the replay. you are free to get a hold of us or ask questions. Or if you are watching the replay, feel free to leave comments and questions, and I'll be happy to address them as soon as possible.
Awesome. Thank
So
you so much,
sweet. Thank
Justina,
you.
for coming and sharing this information with us. And this was really a wonderful.
Awesome. I'm so glad. I'm really glad. Let me know. I'm happy to help you get what you need.
Cool.
All right,
So
you guys have a good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.